Keeps telling me after.
Yeah.
Okay, hi everybody. Good evening. I'd like to call the Tuesday, December 5th, 2017 meeting of the school committee to order. I'd like to make a modification to our agenda under budget development. We are going to postpone a presentation on the Nantucket Community School. With that amendment, may I please have an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I would like to recognize that it is our captain, Dr. Leprey's birthday today. So we'd like to wish him all a happy birthday. We definitely have a little sweet treat.
And a little.
Okay.
Oh, that's very nice. I wish I had that today. Thank you all.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is great.
We gotta.
I got a big melon
We
now.
have to make it work.
Okay. All right. Okay, hit the off switch.
That's where I draw the line.
Wonderful to be able to celebrate with you. Thank you for being here. And before I move into comments from the public, I would like to acknowledge and thank Caitlin Waddington for her years of service as the director of the community school in Nantucket. Yes, thank you so much, Caitlin. As most people know, Caitlin has accepted a new position and is moving on, and we certainly wish her the best of luck and thank her for the work that she's done on behalf of our residents and community. Caitlin wanted to say a few words, so if you want to just come up here, we'd love to hear them.
Great, thank you. So first of all, I want to say that probably what I'm going to miss the most about Nantucket is the fact that we put hats on Tim's head and laugh and joke together. There's a lot of camaraderie on this island that I really appreciate and have enjoyed over the years. So I often connect with people via email or text or conversation, but I also know that we have a lot of people on that watch and view the school committee, and so I just wanted to speak to the group, to the town, and thank the town for allowing me to really be a part of this community and help to lead it and work with an incredible team of people. And excuse me. You know, it's just really incredible to me how just the different experiences in life can just add and grow. And, you know, I started out doing one thing 20 years ago with children, and that just kind of processed and led and worked in social work, and then had the opportunity to come here and really grow my child in a beautiful community with beautiful people. And that really has helped shape him and helped shape me as a family. And I really, truly appreciate that. And now I'm going to be returning to the social work roots, and that all melds together. So I'm going to be able to be an executive director and help create a meaningful community with a different group of community, which is at-risk parenting and pregnant teens and young women, and do some real strong work across the state of South Carolina, which is also closer to my family. And, you know, I'm grateful for the way those experiences have come together, and I trust the process. I know the next thing and the next thing. It has always worked that way, and it will continue to. And I just really want to thank the community for allowing me to be a part of it, and also for the way that the community has chosen to grow. So, you know, we are community school. It will always be a we for me. We are here to engage, strengthen, and connect the community. That is who and what we do and who we are. But we can't do that without the community's involvement. And so over the past 5 years, people have reached out, people have stepped up, people have asked for help, people have given information. And our team has responded to that in exemplary fashion. And so I need to honor that and honor the school committee and honor all of the people in this room and the community that are willing and ready to step up and do the next right thing and take care of each other. And I appreciate being a part of that. So thank you from my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I've got a lot of packing to do, so if you don't mind, I'm going to zip out.
You are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments from the public this evening? No, but I see some great new faces in the audience, so thank you for being here. Okay, we'll move on to presentations and discussions of issues of interest to the committee. And I'd like to invite Martin up to talk about our federal grants. Okay, your jacket might be the most awesome jacket that I've seen today. Well done. Well done. It's a very nice jacket.
It is nice.
We're gonna tag team this, I think.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Do you want me to lead, Mike?
Sure, go ahead and lead.
So the federal grants for this year, the ones that we already have received notifications and approval for, total 589,961, as you can see from the graph. There is a slight increase in the IDEA grant. We're not getting the SPED program improvement this year, which is grant 274, and last year we got 12,726. This year we're not scheduled to receive any funding. And the only unknown on this in this year is the SPED early childhood is still in process. It's a small amount, roughly around $1,300. The expectation is it's going to be about the same as last year.
Okay. Do we have a sense of why we're not receiving the SPED program improvement funds?
Michelle, I think. Can probably.
Thank you, Michelle.
So this year, they were telling us we're going to get it. I went to a workshop, a training, and the new commissioner was there. Oh, you're going to find out soon. And then a week later, they announced they were only giving it to districts that did very poorly. So good news, we did well, but bad news, we didn't get the money.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much.
And in the past, I've answered some questions about what sort of things go into which grants. So I thought I would just give you the purpose of each grant, and then if you have any follow-up questions, we'll try to address those. The largest is the IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and that provides funds to ensure that eligible students with disabilities receive a fair and appropriate public education. So that provides support for a number of our programs and related services, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. So there's money in there for assessment, for the related services, to make sure that parents are protected and children are protected. And that is by far our largest federal grant. The Title I grant is a sizable grant. That's federal support based on free and reduced lunch count. So as our numbers go up, then the dollars in Title I go up. It is supposed to support the core program in schools and provide academic and support to low achieving students at the preschool and elementary level in our case. A few middle school dollars, but nothing at the high school level. They don't qualify. And they do some training. Professional development is we have in that grant as well. The Title II grant is for improving teacher quality and training, and it supports systems for excellent teaching and leading. We typically use it to offset our expenses for the mentoring program in the district to mentor new teachers. And I think we also use it for maybe a comprehensive membership to ASCD.
And that was quite an increase.
Yeah,
last year to this year.
That did increase a little bit, and in fact, some of us were expecting it to decrease. So I was surprised at that. The Title III grant, as we have seen over the years, has increased as our numbers have increased. That is English language acquisition and academic achievement for limited English proficient students. That helps with English proficiency. Sometimes it helps us provide extended day or weekend or summer programming for English language learners, and also provides professional development. Let's see. There is the other grant that is new but old is the Title IV grant, Student Support and Academic Enrichment Grant. It used to be the Safe and Drug-Free Schools grant, and we had that through, I think it was about 2010 or 2011, might even be 2012, and we used it at that time to pay for our substance abuse provider program in the district. That money dried up, and this year it's brought back to build capacity to help ensure that students have equitable access to high-quality educational experience. Still supporting safe and healthy students, primarily. And then we have a small early childhood special education improvement grant. And I think I've covered the largest parts of those grants.
Can you give me an example of how we might use the Title IV this coming year?
Well, we talked about it. It's not a lot of money, and it goes quickly. Michael, that $3,400 this year, how do we write that?
So we paid a small portion of Mike Smith's visit for letting out that grant. So primarily for speakers, motivational speakers, assemblies. Kelly Cooney is suggesting Raul Gonzalez, someone to work with like parent outreach and EL support. So that's something that we're looking into. So I basically put into outside consultants in terms of the line item.
It's usually,
Ends up being speakers and presenters.
as in the case with Mike Smith, I think we went 50-50 with Friends of Nantucket Public Schools. Maybe it wasn't even 50-50, but we contributed to that.
Contributed a small amount.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Logan's implying not enough. But it's a small grant. We hope it will grow.
Great. Thank you. Anything else on federal grants? Do any of the committee members have any questions?
I don't. I was hoping maybe I could get a copy of that handout you were reading from me.
Sure.
Thanks.
Natalie, do you have any questions on the grants? Fantastic. And are you staying put for the budget development?
The only thing I have on your list of attachments you received is the roll forward. So if you want me to go over that very briefly, what it represents and what the number is for this year.
That would be great.
It is 662, 383, just to move forward the budgets. And usually every year we do the roll forward presentation looking at how we move to the next year in line of contractual agreements that are known at the time. So this number is going for salaries this year. We are not including any kind of increase in the roll forward for the operating expenses. And as you can see, this represents a 2.5 increase. We are in discussion of finalizing the appropriation with the town. So that would, then we'll come forward with all the additional needs that can be covered with the upcoming budget.
Great.
But if you have any questions, I can.
Any questions from anybody on the roll forward? It's early days yet in budget development, I would say. Okay, fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
And so we'll go into the technology budget presentation. Karen?
As Karen comes up, I'll just make a few follow-up comments on the budget. As Martin said, still early stages. We've been given some preliminary numbers on what that might look like. The administrative team has met several times to talk about needs and wants as we move forward. And we'll start to roll those out. Some you will see tonight in facilities and technology, and more of those will be evident as we get into the schools' presentations and special education presentation on the 19th. So,
Okay, good evening. If you look at the technology budget request, page 2, where there are the two pie graphs, it shows that we are 3% of the total budget. And out of the technology budget, 56% is payroll, 25% software hardware. I won't go over all of it. And then 7% equipment. Those are my 3 largest line items that we use. So it's primarily... Yes. It's a PowerPoint, so may I stand? Of course. Because it's not, I mean, it's just a PDF, so it's gonna, I need to adjust it.
did you have copies of there? Okay. I think we can get a copy too.
Oh, you know what, Tim, this packet here we can hand over to Liza.
Cannibalize.
Looks like there's more to that.
I apologize, I was gonna offer to put it up on the screen earlier, and I
It's okay.
would like to do that.
I'm
So
just
this
happy
is
there's somebody in the audience who wants to see it. I think.
And our TV audience will
Yeah.
also be able to
Great.
see this.
Follow
So this
along.
is the chart showing our total amount on the total school committee budget, and then how the technology budget is broken down. The requests this year include a part-time, 10-month, 20-hour-a-week position to supplement my technology support at the elementary school, and $133,000 increase in hardware. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on the reasoning for these two. Okay, essentially, as we all know, that technology is an essential service, as important as electricity and oil to heat and light our buildings. We support the entire infrastructure and educational technology systems in the district, and we are well integrated into facilities for security, HVAC, and other systems. So our network runs essentially the entire operation. We're requesting a part-time staff person to address our increased demand for resources, and also the size of the campus has changed drastically. We were hoping to utilize existing staff to cover both the elementary school and the intermediate school, because we split those, the technology and the students and staff in half. But the physical size of the buildings has made it almost impossible to cover that territory adequately. And also we're adding more devices. We have one-to-one capability at grades 3 to 5, in addition to 6 to 12. So supporting all of that, all those tools has become a challenge. So we are requesting a half-time person. Also, we're requesting the additional hardware funds. And one of the reasons being, again, the one-to-one technology in the district. Next year, we're looking at potentially purchasing devices for 3 grade levels. That would be grades 4, grades 6, and grades 9. Grades 6 and 9 are recurring expenses every year. Grade 4, we are now using older devices that we've passed down from other grade levels, and they're aging out. We also...
May I ask a quick question
Sure.
on the Chromebooks aging out? What is the lifespan of a Chromebook once it's been in the hands of kids?
Google has committed to a minimum of 3 years. We're finding, though, that we are actually utilizing 4-year-old devices fairly successfully.
Great.
We haven't hit the 5-year mark on these devices. They're in the hands of students every day, so they do get beat up.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, we would be able to utilize our existing devices in grade 4 if we had to.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
We also have a significant need to upgrade the iMac computers in the high school art lab. And iMac computers are not inexpensive, but the age of the computers that we have now are not managing the required software that they're using for the photography classes. So that's also part of that $133,000 increase. And then, other than that, is our regular recurring expenses for teacher Chromebooks, desktops and laptops that we may need to purchase, and smartboards or interactive projectors. And if you look, the last page shows the actual FY17 actuals, current FY18 expenditures, and FY19 projected. If you look across the hardware line item, the actuals in FY17 really were not significantly different than what we're requesting for FY19. And of course, FY18 is not completed, so all expenditures haven't been. Any questions?
Karen, I didn't know if you wanted to point
Yes,
out the supplementary materials that you gave them.
Right, I do have copies of the supplementary materials if anybody needs them. I do not have these on the screen. So, Logan, you have some? This is the inventory as of October 17th.
This sheet?
Both of them. Both
Okay.
this spreadsheet is this data in chart format.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it does not reflect devices that are being recycled out that have reached end of life, and it does not reflect any devices that we're going to be purchasing from this time forward. If you look at it, I've split up the elementary, the intermediate school. Our numbers aren't a whole lot different. Our total numbers aren't a whole lot different from last year. But as you can see, Chromebooks are a significant part of our technology investment in the district.
About how many are aging out?
Probably 125 to 180 devices are hitting the 4-year mark. What we're doing, though, as well, is we take the older devices and place them into our loaner program for the middle and high school. For if the device is out for repair and a student needs a device to use, we always make sure that they have one. We're also taking older devices that aren't operating correctly anymore, and instead of buying parts, we're cannibalizing them. So we might take a screen from a device where the keyboard's not working to repair a screen on another device. So we're utilizing all of our technology to the fullest extent. We're not just sitting old devices in a closet.
Great. Any questions from the committee? Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank
Karen.
you. We can help Diane with her.
Great. Great. Thank you, Jen. Welcome. Hi, Diane.
Hi.
Might I add, you have a lovely top also. I think I'm really attracted to this velvet thing. Oh, and your jacket. Oh my God.
It's all in.
This is a theme. It's a theme.
It seems to be in this year.
Yes. Yes. I missed the memo.
Mr. Kozor is going to help me along here. I didn't delve into this as deeply as I should have because I was at HDC and all 3 things passed tonight. So I'm thrilled for that. Facilities is 13% of the school committee's budget. We didn't ask for any additional staff this year. I think we're doing just fine. I think in future years, we may be coming to look for maybe another grounds person. Grounds is really tough. We've expanded our campus greatly this year. So, but right now we're doing fine. We're holding our own. We did ask for a $20,000 increase for the elementary school supply budget. Last year when we created the budget, we basically cut the supply budget in half because we were taking half the students and staff out of the building. Since then, we've backfilled the rooms and the spaces with community school office, early childhood center, Head Start program, district conference room, special ed office, and the EL office. So our supply budget is a little bit, it's hurting a little bit. I'd like to increase that $20,000 next year. And we'd also like to increase the utility and operating budget for NIS. Now that the actual bills are coming in, we're getting a clearer picture of what it's actually going to cost. I don't think we're going to get a very clear picture unless we have probably a 3-year history. But for right now, this is Martin and Mr. Goswart and I all discussed, and this is what we came up with for increases for next year.
So I'm going to jump in at this point because Michelle Kremer, Diane's administrative assistant, did a great analysis on the fuel oil from 2015 through 2017, and he did an analysis on electric bill from 2012 to 2017. So we have that information to back up, but it's going to take this year in the new school, the intermediate school, to really know what the gas is going to look like, electricity is going to look like. But right now, I'd say we're running a little bit over what we anticipated at the intermediate school.
Especially in electric.
Right, and that's not, as Diane pointed out to me today, it's not because of the lighting. It's really the mechanicals, and you have a lot of bless you. You have a lot of HVAC running off of
The air displacement system basically runs all the time, and it runs 365 days a year. So we anticipated that cost, but I don't think we anticipated as high as it's come in at.
I think it's would be unusual to expect a very precise forecast of a new building. So I think that we all understood that we were going to be learning a lot about how this building operates and what it needs after. And I think in subsequent committees, you'll continue to learn. I think you're right. Having 3-year trend data will make all the difference for more precise forecasting.
I'll hand that to Tim because I know that he always enjoys looking at it. But overall, in the fuel oil, we've stayed within budget for 2015 and 16. We have those actuals, and 2017. One of the things that you'll look at when you look at the fuel oil analysis is the price of fuel oil in the 16 year, the 2016 year, was much, much less than you see in 2015 or even 2017. So even though you're using similar amounts, the cost to the district was considerably different in 2016. So
And that's also hard to forecast.
yes, it is.
Which is why Tim's always asking when it's cheap to fill it up.
And Diane can tell you how that is determined, the fuel oil bid prices.
The way that the town bids out, I used to do it for the town, is we bid it out on the day we get the delivery here at whatever facility. It's the price that it comes in to Boston that day. So I get an email every single day of the price that the fuel comes into Boston per 100-gallon tank. And then we break it down to per gallon, and then we pay an operating and expense premium to whoever delivers it to us. Right now, Harbor Fuel holds the contract, and I think we pay a premium of 0.0699 this year on top of whatever the price is that it comes into Boston. If you ever want to see the data, I do track the data every single day, and I do a spreadsheet cost analysis over a period of years on the dates. So it's pretty interesting to look at how it kind of goes up and down. It's been fairly consistent probably the last 2 years. 3 years ago, it was a lot higher. It's interesting to look at. I think it was $1 a gallon higher. We looked at that.
And there's a lot of work that's gone on in heating and ventilation in all of our systems, schools, to upgrade. And we're hoping to see the dividends. The most recent is at the elementary school. It's not completed yet.
The elementary school had a complete haul over of the HVAC system and software programs that run it. I anticipated that to be complete by the end of the year, but it isn't looking like that because with the holidays, we can't seem to get people back here to finish up. It's 1,000% better than it was last year. And our next project will be this building. So next week, actually, we have our commissioning agent on island for 3 days, and he's going to go through this building with a fine-tooth comb, identify every piece that needs to be replaced and every part, and then we'll write the bid to go out to get this building and obviously the middle school upgraded as well. That'll be the next project. So I'm excited about that. It'll be huge fuel savings. We'll be able to program rooms, times of day, and this is pretty antiquated system that we run off right now.
And there's no any incentives that we can benefit from for making those improvements.
No, I looked into National Grid actually 2 years in a row because they kept saying that there were, but it's fuel oil, so they couldn't justify the incentive because they're really not saving electricity. We'll be saving fuel oil.
Fuel oil.
We have done upgrades, National Grid lighting upgrades throughout all of the buildings.
Yeah, I was going to say
for
our
those
electricity
energy
costs,
incentives.
we've had tremendous savings.
And I believe I sent you all an email about the NIS
You
and
did.
the incentive for the
Yeah,
LED lighting
which
over
was
there.
fantastic.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah. Any comments or questions for Diane from the committee? I just wanted to make one quick comment, Diane, that I know you mentioned that with the addition of NIS, the grounds crew is fairly spread out, but I have to say I hear nothing but really positive feedback about the cleanliness of the schools and their appearance. I know they're
Thank you.
all used a lot, so if you would pass that message on
Sure
to your
will.
team if they're feeling a little spread thin, we recognize they're doing a great job.
Thank you. I will do that.
And I think we're going into our capital 10-year plan, right?
So FY19, we had 3 projects that we presented to the Capital Programs Committee. The first being safety and security. So we asked for $450,000 for the vestibule in the high school. So we need to design that and then get that out to bid if the appropriation is approved. The next thing on the list is central office addition. We'd like to do a 1-story addition off the back and the side to add 3 offices and a conference room, so we can bring back special ed, EL, and a conference room and IT into the central office, so we'll all be in the same place. That would be a lovely project. And then, last but not least, Phase 2 to the playgrounds and field improvements for Backus Lane. Phase 2 is $400,000. We recently got $375,000 last year to start the project. We're still waiting on the land bank to turn the land over to us. We have done everything we could do preliminarily to get to where we literally, once it's turned over, we can put it out to bid for clearing and grubbing and fencing. The archaeological study's been done, the survey's been done, we're ready to go.
Great.
So we're just waiting for that piece.
Don't hold your breath.
I am holding my breath. I'm told we're close, very close. So,
Excellent.
Who did the archaeologic survey?
public. It's called PAL,
Yeah.
Public Archaeological Laboratories. They did it, and
The last page that you have has the schematic of what that would look like, with the plan to move the baseball field away from where it's located now, which is a less than ideal spot, and give it really a designated space for baseball. You would have parking over there, playground for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. We're excited to move it forward. And, and actually, I'd have to say thank you to the intermediate school faculty who have been troopers in having recess on the Backus Field fields so that they don't have to, divvy up times with the elementary school. And I think that's given both schools flexibility, but it hasn't, because we haven't moved forward with this, the kids don't have the playground equipment that we would like to have for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. Need to have.
All set?
Well, and maybe you just want to talk about what was passed at HDC. You made a reference to the 3 projects. So it's not often that you can come away from HDC having had 3 projects approved. So
Fieldhouse roof. I asked to change the shingles from 3-tab to architectural shingles just because there's a 30-year warranty on architectural and 3-tab really don't last. And our tax dollars at work, I'd like to put something up there that has a warranty. So that was approved. And the other 2, it's actually, I think it's 1. It's the athletic storage facility behind the skateboard park, but they made me apply as 2 separate projects because it is 2 separate 396 square foot buildings. They approved both of them. They loved the idea. They were actually pretty excited about it to get that going.
Wow, excitement. At
I
the
know,
HDC.
it was great.
now, and people who've been in the district for some time remember that really went to HDC how many years ago? 10 or 12 originally?
Yes. And then we went back when I started here and got approved again, but then we had to modify the building for a 3rd time, and now we're ready to go. We have the money, it's appropriated. There's 2 separate appropriations for this building, and hopefully we can get going soon.
And I just would add that one thing, as schools fill up with children, usually the first thing to go is storage space. Storage spaces designed in schools become tutoring spaces and spaces for itinerants to work in. So this will provide very needed space for the elementary, middle, and high school. The new intermediate school does have quite a bit of storage in it.
Further questions from committee members on the capital improvement?
Quick question. Although I meet in that office every other week, is there signage that says it's a central office?
Yes.
Right over there.
I never look up.
Sign it, Nantucket made the sign.
Hang on one
Yes.
quick sec for me.
No.
The 10-year plan
Yes.
has 7 years laid out in it. I just
Well, we probably missed the page.
okay. I just wanted to. And
The
then
town actually asked us now to cut it to 5 because they
gonna
think
say
it's
10 years
unrealistic
is
to
long.
project out 10 years.
Yeah, and I was going to say I actually appreciate not going too far out because as we've seen, so much can change so quickly that 10 years feels.
Even 1
you'll know
year.
there's certain things in facilities planning that you'll have to do. Roof replacements, things like that. So I understand the concept, but at some point it just feels like you're throwing darts at a
Well, and
board.
to your point, I'm not sure that any year that we've come back, we had exactly what we said we would do the year before.
Right.
We have many things still in it, and this community has been very generous, and I think the facilities, we've maintained our facilities very well. And it's a significant investment.
And I guess the only other thing that I would ask is that where the high school fields, track, and stadium looks like it's a 5-year phased plan because there's a placeholder over several years for it. And this was on the strategic plan years ago, and then we needed to build a new school, so we sort of pushed pause. But can we just refresh our memories on what we're talking about with that? Because that's a fairly big investment for the community to make.
Well, I'll start, and then you can rescue me, Diane.
Okay.
You're right. We developed this plan probably 5 years ago, and 2.5, 3 years ago, we put it aside because we had a greater need for seats in the classroom. And we've kept it there. I think we will revisit that plan since it's been 5 years to see if it still works. The first part of the plan actually is moving the baseball field, because by moving the baseball field over, we can do more we can change some things up here. And then I think there will be a discussion of whether we will go with artificial turf. The layout and the orientation, east, west, north, south, because of sun for certain sports, all of those are factors as you try to develop it. And probably the biggest piece that we've heard from the community is to have a track around the football field or football stadium. Like to have a 6-lane track. I think you need to have an 8-lane to host a state event, but you can have a 6-lane track would be wonderful. And my experience in New Hampshire, I'm sure it would be even more so here. It's used by the entire community. So this isn't something that's just for track and field or the school district's athletes.
Well, I know there's been a lot of conversation publicly in different forums around community recreation and access to facilities. So I think, if we're creative in how we talk about that meeting the greater community need, not just the sports need, I think it'll be an asset to us. But I look forward to seeing those plans. It probably will be after my time, but I'll be sitting out there. Okay.
You'll be out there voting for it.
I will be out there voting for it, as long as it's cost efficient and looks good. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate it. Okay. On to committee discussion and votes to be taken. May I have a motion to approve a gift donation for maritime studies from the Egan Maritime Institute to CPS school gift account in the amount of $20,001.75.
So second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have a motion to approve a gift donation for the Nantucket Community School Welcome Baby Welcome Family Program through the Community Health Initiative with the Nantucket Cottage Hospital from the Community Foundation for $10,300.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the November 7th, 2017 meeting minutes?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And may I have a motion to approve transfers and invoices?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fantastic. And then when he is returned to us.
I'll call you back.
Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I think we're ready for your superintendent's report.
Okay. You have a December 1st enrollment. You'll see that it's up by, I think, 11 students since November. We have the withdrawals and entries that you like to see. And business is booming. Our numbers continue to come in. As I've said before, if those numbers are spread across all 13 grades or 14 grades, it doesn't present a great problem. But when they cluster at one particular grade level, and you can see several grades. If you look at the 10th grade, the 153 is sort of mind-bending for this school district.
That's been a large class all along, but now I think since the private school students who have chosen to come in, it's been a remarkable grade numbers-wise for a long time.
It really has. You hope that you have one of those outliers like our first grade this year at 96, that you have a few of those spread out. It used to be that 96 was the outlier, the high outlier. It's interesting that it's now the low of all of our schools. But kindergarten is back up to 119. So I think it won't be long before we have 6 classes of every grade across the board. Usually we've had between 5 and 6. but looks like 6 classes of every grade will become the norm.
Any questions for enrollment?
Mike, do you know what the enrollment is at the vineyard?
I think the high school, we were looking at that, might have been around 650 at the high school compared to ours, which is 536. So we've actually been closing the gap on the vineyard because I think a few years ago it was closer to 700, and we were below 500. So. And of course, you have several different elementary schools feeding in.
Yeah.
Okay, enrollment, on the horizon.
Oh, you want to share?
Sure.
Yeah, don't mind my notes.
No, that's all right. At the next meeting, we'll have the presentations on the different school budgets and central, including athletics and special ed and EL. The biggest question that I have on the horizon is whether you wanted to reschedule that workshop on the MCAS, whether you wanted to do that for next Tuesday at 4:30. And if you were prepared to do that, if that is what the school committee would like. I know you wanted it as a workshop.
I will not be here that day, but I don't want that to stop the committee or administration. I think it'd be great to just move on. So if you're available, I unfortunately have 2 members who are missing, but why don't we go ahead and schedule it pending if we have a quorum.
Okay. So I'll reach out to them and then we'll move forward on the 12th,
That would be great.
4:30.
Yeah.
And that would be at the district conference room.
Yes. Fantastic.
Okay.
And will we plan on hearing of the community school budget update at the next meeting, or do
Yes.
you want? Okay.
Yes, we
fantastic.
will add that to the next meeting, or that is on the 19th. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and maybe you're going to mention it, is December Delight is coming up, or maybe Miss Gammons is going to mention it in her report. So.
I'm actually not going to be here for it. I'm really sad about it. But
Oh,
that's okay.
no. Well, I will say that I am on the wreath committee, and we've renamed ourselves the Wreath and Centerpiece Committee because that's actually what we made more of. And they are literally delightful. I think everyone knows that December Delight is a fantastic event that supports the senior class. There's a lot of volunteer hours that go into it. And for me personally, it's one of my favorite holiday events because there's lots of space. There is a fantastic menu of food. So come hungry, stay a long time, spend a lot of money. I think you'll find everything you need for yourself and for holiday gifts. And if all else fails, your stomach will be quite delighted.
What's the date?
Saturday. It starts at 9 a.m.
Yep.
I believe. And I'm excited. I actually got special insoles for my shoes for it. So I can stand it all day.
You have a pretty lofty goal that was set by last year's seniors. Am I right, Dr. Bucky? And that was close to $50,000 last year. So
Yeah. I'm pretty confident we're going to make it.
Go for it,
Feeling
girl.
good about it. Feeling good. Feeling good. Although I may be the only one. I will tell you there are some beautiful wreaths and centerpieces. So, on the horizon, Mike, I just wanted to ask if we could add to the parking lot a safety and security update. I think I had mentioned that.
Yeah. Did I not?
I don't think it made it on there, and I defer to you all about when the appropriate time is for that. But I think we've made such improvements. That committee has been really ardent in its meeting schedule, and I just want to make sure that we are able to give the community an update
Right.
on our security measures.
We can do that. We have actually have a committee meeting on Thursday of this week
Right.
for that.
Right.
So.
And then I had, it is on here, but I just wanted to note, I had requested from Mr. Horton and Mr. Kozer that we have a science curriculum update, and Mike had already been planning one sometime in January or February. But in addition to the math curriculum, which I think receives a lot of attention from our committee, there's also great work going on in our vertical alignment of our science curriculum. And so I'm excited for us to hear about that. And possibly some continued community collaborations with the great science community we have on the island.
I might also add, with the recent unveiling of the social studies, there's some significant changes coming across the state with the social studies scope and sequence as well. So that would probably be something else that we should
That would be
add.
great. Yeah, that would be great. Put it on your docket, Jean. So we'll move on to subcommittee work group updates. I'm wondering if we might be able to get a strategic planning update at the next meeting. We heard a little bit about selecting somebody, but then the process is somewhat.
Yeah.
I haven't heard more, so I'd like to hear more.
You deserve to hear more. I will say that there have been a few surprises recently.
Okay.
So, but we have a plan to move it
Great.
forward.
Even if we just have a
Yep.
quick update at the next meeting of just about where the process is, I think that would be
Yep.
great so we know it's on track. Natalie, any updates from you on student council?
Student council.
All the seniors ready to work hard
The
Friday and
seniors
Saturday?
are ready, and
Excellent.
student council is actually, I think an announcement just went out today. They're selling, or in collaboration with someone else. I don't know his name. They're like slide shoes, like athletic shoes.
Oh, I got the email.
Yeah, they're up everywhere.
Whaler
So
slides.
student council will be making some of the proceeds go towards the student council, so that's kind of like a
Great.
mini fundraiser.
Great.
And then when
They're
you
like
know,
those Adidas. I want to say
like you wear them with
fit
socks.
shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not more of
They're kinda
the
sporty.
shoes that the student who glided across
No.
the stage
Not
at
those.
graduation.
Those are really
I know.
Yeah, and then winter sports have kicked
Noted.
off, so there's a lot of, I think, meets and games starting.
Yeah.
So
There's a
look for
basketball
those.
game coming up.
Thursday.
Basketball, hockey has some games this weekend. Swimming's away, but we'll be
Cool.
home soon. So
Great. Great.
Awesome.
Sounds great. Any other questions or updates from the committee? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Out before 7.
I know. Just in time for practice.
Look at that time.
I
I know. Record.
Feeling good.